Welcome to Healings and Meditations with Frank Jordan and the Earth Mind Think Tank Group. We welcome all listeners and chatters. Any questions can be called in to 1-775-657-5973. 1-775-657-5973. If you're in the chat room on Wolf Spirit Radio, which is wolfspiritradio.com/wolf chat, please post questions in uppercase letters and capital letters. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Here we are with Wolf Spirit Radio, and it's March 25th, 2014, and we're moving along quite steadily now into the spring flows, and those are most gratefully acknowledged, and we want to put our attention out into the Pacific and congratulate the Devic forces that are working with us, that have managed to break the drought in most of the country on the west side. And now we want to put our attention on the southern flows that come up south of the Hawaiian Islands. And there is moisture there, but let's visualize a good, strong flow coming in now through northern Mexico and on up into the drought locations on the plains and in the intermountain states. See that happening now. And the way to do this is project yourselves into that area, into that moisture, directly into the consciousness of the Devic forces there, and strongly will from your heart center. And that will comes not only from us, from all the Devic and animal, and plant life that require moisture for survival, so we can reach into the southern states, pull together that group mind consciousness of all living things that have DNA, and it's just like reaching out with a suction and pulling that in. And seeing it spreading across Southern California and on into the central states. This is an appropriate time for the spring grass to grow and to stimulate all life. There, now we feel the connection. And so to strengthen that flow, let's drop right directly into our expanded state of consciousness. Take your awareness up into your forehead. Step right back into the soul center and feel a connection to the oversoul with everyone on earth. Now into the psychic center. The psychic center, where we can put our conscious intent, is in connection with the subconscious centers and the subtle energy fields. And so we drop one back into the subconscious fields now. Drop awareness down the spine to the heart center, which is the center of the subtle energy fields that brings everything into form. Now drop on down deeper into earth mind, connecting with Mother Earth and Earth polarity. And here's where we drop our intent, our desire, our will, back out into the weather systems again in the Pacific, to stimulate more flow, more activity, more energetic response to the sun. The sun is the powerhouse that supplies the energy that sets the weather systems to moving. And we drop into Earth Mind and go back in time and read the natural patterns that have existed for thousands of years. We bring in the normal patterns, restating the normal patterns all the way around the world. Now as we do this, we feel the galactic flow come in the back of our heads and our hands heat up. That's our indicators that we're in direct resonance with the subtle energy field. And the 0 point in the heart center, not only of us individuals, but of Earth Mind. The heart center of Earth Mind responds to this, because this is the consciousness, the subtle energy, living consciousness of our galactic, and particularly of our own solar system. So we bring everything into peace and harmony. And today we want to put a lot of intent toward stabilizing the financial and systems of trade around the world, the banking systems. We're shifting to a new era now, where the dominators can no longer control the financial system, that it will be recreated in dominion. And we feel that happening now, prompting our United States Congress to pass the laws necessary to allow the world reset to continue. It's pretty well in agreement, and the old forms are breaking down. So we continue to direct dominion into those flows of consciousness, with the realization that this is the only world the financial system and the world societies and structures can survive is with a new reset. And we see this happening. And we feel it in our hearts. We feel a glow of consciousness, knowing that the right-minded people making right choices are bringing into form now dominion throughout the world to stabilize the world. And we reach up to Oversoul and down to Undersoul to manifest this form in the world. And to do this through the heart center of Earth, the Earth chakra, the 0 point. And we will this into form. And all of Earth Mind is responding. All of the consciousness of humans responding. And we reach to our golden grid to supply the energy to sustain this that we bring into form. And also take this will now into the earthquake grid and to the Devic consciousness that holds that form, so that as we bring energy from the earthquakes into the golden grid, It will amplify and sustain our will, our desire for a peaceful, comfortable, abundant world in dominion. Take your awareness now to Southern California and the earthquake faults there. Drop your awareness into those faults and feel the stress energy building up. Lift that upward. Now in the past we've lifted this upward into the golden grid and just sustained the flow of energy. But now we know that if we spiral that, because energy always travels in a spiral direction from point of origin to its destination, if we spiral that and pull in the devics that are holding the high pressure ridges over northern Mexico and out into the ocean, Pacific Ocean, we can pull that high pressure energy away, add it to our golden grid, and strengthen the grid. At the same time, we weaken the high pressure fields and allow the southern flows of moisture to come in. You see that entire dynamics happening now. Feel it in our systems. Will it through our heart centers. And we will it to sustain, sustain, sustain. As we take our awareness on northward into San Diego, along the San Andreas fault line, the Garlock faults, lift those energies upward, spiraling. And on northward through San Francisco to the Oregon line. Now move your awareness to the Sierra Nevada mountains, on through the southern Rockies, through Las Vegas, northward through Salt Lake, on northward through the Yellowstone, we go into the cauldron, lift that immense amount of energy up through our golden spiral now into the golden grid. We maintain that spiral as we move our awareness to the Pacific Northwest. Subduction zone activity all from Portland on up through Seattle, along the Olympic Peninsula. Many minor earthquakes there. Lift that energy upward, pulling energy away from the subduction zone so it does not hang up and result in a massive tsunami on the west coast. Lift that energy upward. Now take your awareness northward to the Valdez region. Clear any earthquake energy around the oil facilities there. And on inland into the subduction zone of central Alaska. Tremendous amount of energy releasing at this time. Lift that upward. Then southward through the Aleutian Trench. All the way to Adak, where there's a 5.2 today. Now south along the Kamchatka Trench to the Japan Trench. In the subduction zone there, some minor deep activity. Release all of that. On southward along the Taipei Trench. Down into the Philippines. Southern Philippines has some major activity. 5.0 at Batung. And swing on south into Indonesia, the Indonesian crescent, a lot of volcanic and subduction activity there today. Lift those energies. Concentration of activity at Mohian, India. Swings eastward to New Guinea. Scattered activity, but it's a major activity for 5.1. And on around to the Tonga Trench. Down through New Zealand. Foxton, New Zealand, there's a 4.4. Then move eastward to South America. Concentration in northern Chile. Some of these are getting quite large, 4.8, 5.4. From the subduction activity. Release that energy out through the Andes Mountains, the ancient volcanoes. Move northward to Peru. Subduction activity at Secura. and at Troncal, Ecuador. Move northward now to Central America. Only minor activity today. And eastward to Puerto Rico. Haiti has some more activity at Petit Trou de Nepias. And move eastward to the Mediterranean. The fault line on the border of Algeria has some 4 points on the Mediterranean fault line. Kira, Greece, has a 3.9. That could be volcanic activity. Markigailos, Greece. And eastward to Pozny, Pakistan. The Tibetan Plateau. And come back eastward, back to point of origin. In the United States, to the central states in Oklahoma. Much more activity now in the fracking zones there around Langston. And some activity on eastward in the New Madrid fault line. And a 3-point at Centerville, South Carolina, which is also response to fracking. Now come back to our point of beginning. And expand your awareness out into Earth Mind now generally. And we're asking Earth Mind where we should put our attention to adjust and again I'm feeling the pole shift, that we have managed to slow the pole shift down and the wobble is stabilizing. So we simply put our will into the 0 point Earth Mind within the Earth itself, and will the wobble to stabilize, slow down, so there's not a dramatic shift, coming back into its natural cycles. And we're asked to take our attention to the northern and southern ice caps, to slow down the rate of disintegration of the ice caps. Particularly in Greenland. for us to take our attention to the North Atlantic Ocean and the Atlantic in general to help neutralize the human pollution. Because our fisheries are in great danger in that entire region. Bring the habitat back to normal. Reduce the fishing and reduce the pollution so the species can come back into natural cycles again. Now bring your awareness back to the weather systems and the global drought conditions and the imbalance of weather that's causing too much cold, too much rain in some regions and drought in others. We reach back in time to the normal stable rates of shift. Bring those forward, reminding Earth mind to be in balance and harmony. And now bring your awareness back into your cells, into your root chakra. Come back up in your own root chakra now to your heart center. And through the heart center, we open up now to the flows of the galactic center and resonate through all human consciousness, directly through the psychic fields and the soul fields, the subtle energy fields, the desire, the need, the survival need for dominion to express in the world. And we do this by sending a great flow of love from our heart center. Love, which is a compassionate encompassing of the world, all the world species that are in need, that are threatened by the disharmony brought onto us by the world of domination. And we raise the consciousness of all species of the world now, responding to the 0 point of all species that hold the form of all consciousness, all of life on earth. The desire for dominion. And we go back hundreds of thousands of years in time before the effects of mankind were felt on earth, and bring forward those patterns of nice natural evolutionary cycles back into the earth, back into the consciousness of all living things. The instinctive consciousness derives through the domination patterns of earth mind in the earth, to alter those patterns, to be in dominion. We feel peace and harmony come back into earth. We see those warring factors are fighting over the financial systems now between domination and dominion. Domination is overwhelmed with the need and desire for dominion. We see the dissension between governments neutralizing, the Ukrainian situation stabilizing, letting it to be a local problem and not an international problem. We see that in all strife around the world and wars at this time. Bring our attention to the financial system that's in great turmoil, stabilizing the financial system, bring it into dominion as a global reset occurs of the financial structures. And we feel the shift occurring. Now you bring your awareness into this moment of now in your own personal lives, your own systems, and extend outward from your heart centers the desire that everyone feel the galactic love coming in, that they respond to their instinctive consciousness from Earth mind, and we spread a flow of love around the world. There's a request that we send light to the Rome ley lines, the obelisks putting darkness into the ley lines, and we extend this out to all obelisks in the world, all the sacred sites that are on lines of communication in Earth mind. We extend our desire and will for peace, love, harmony, abundance, to neutralize the old patterns of darkness. As we pour light into the systems, light having the frequencies and being the frequencies of unconditional love that are formed into life itself, that holds the form of life and the resonance of all things. And to feel a flow of peace come upon the world as we move closer every moment into the realm of dominion and the fourth dimension. And we project this forward into the fourth dimension as we become co-creators of the new world and the new systems, new spiritual understanding and growth, internalized within ourselves as anchor points, working in harmony with the rest of those of like intent around the world, to unify and stabilize dominion and the fourth dimension in the world. And so it is. You bring your awareness back up your spine now, out through your third eye, back into this rather disturbed world we're living in right now. And Dave, we're back.
I could tell.
Are there any comments from anyone who would like to contribute to the form of the new reality?
Just the one comment was put in by Cindy. Can I send light to the wrong ley lines?
Yeah, we did that.
All right.
If not, Dave, we're going to drop off a little quicker today and go into the stellar group so we can continue this work with the heart of our organization. So thank everyone who listens and contributes, particularly your financial contributions. That's what keeps Wolf Spirit Radio and us going. So thank you for your time and attention, and we will be back Saturday morning.